Welcome into Seattle Seahawks Today. I am Tom Downey, back with the latest rumors on Seattle on the eve of NFL free agency. And we're going to begin with the latest on a potential trade of now current, but not for long, Houston Texans QB Deshaun Watson. As I'm sure you guys all know, Watson will not be facing criminal charges for the sexual assault allegations and misconduct that he had been facing. So now the trade market heats up in a big-time way for Deshaun. He could still face an NFL suspension, but he's not going to go to jail. So teams are much more comfortable trading for Deshaun when you kind of couldn't do it until you knew what was going to happen with Deshaun Watson. Now, first up is a quote from Daniel Jeremiah, who said this on the Houston Texans about what's going to be the situation for Deshaun and what the Seahawks QB will be. He said this on Friday, by the way. In talking to friends around the league, the expectation from every single one of them is that when it's all said and done, Deshaun Watson's going to be the QB, or going to be the quarterback. But wait, there's more here as it relates to what's going on with the Seahawks' interest in Deshaun Watson. Here's what Dan Graziano, the ESPN reporter, says. I've been told the Carolina Panthers are being extremely aggressive in their effort to get Watson, and they could be the team to watch if and when it's time for a deal to get done. Seattle has checked in on the situation, but most people I talk to don't expect the Seahawks to be seriously in the Watson mix. So, welcome to our good old friend, conflicting reports on the Seahawks' level of interest in Deshaun. Now, here's what Ian Rapoport tweeted out earlier this morning. The Saints and Panthers have made offers for Texans QB Deshaun Watson and are likely to meet with him soon, sources tell me and Tom Pelissero. Other teams are also involved. Seattle? Watson has a no-trade clause and wants to meet with teams before formally waiving it anywhere. So, we'll spend some more time here on Deshaun Watson momentarily. But do you think the Seahawks will trade for Deshaun, or will they miss out altogether? Two options for you guys. Type in T for they're going to trade for him, or type in M for they will miss out. I think the Seahawks are a viable threat if they want to go get Deshaun Watson. Because of their trade of Russell Wilson, they now actually have some draft capital. They don't have as much as, say, Philadelphia, but they got more than Carolina does at this current point. It's a matter of, are they willing to give up just as much, if not more, than what they got back for Russell Wilson to go acquire Deshaun Watson? He would give them a franchise QB for the next at least 4 years. He's under contract plus 2 years of franchise tags. And in theory, at his age, maybe it's another 10 years or more in total, assuming Deshaun doesn't throw a hissy fit like he did in Houston and force his way out. Watson's a great football player. We know that. On the field, there's not that many doubts. He has carried the Texans offense for several years now. He would be a massive addition to the organization. It's a matter of, are they willing to give up that type of capital after they just moved on from Bobby Wagner? Do they view themselves as a contender, or do they want to wait? Do they want to bide their time and not go all in on a QB at this exact moment? If you want the Seahawks to trade for Deshaun Watson, this is your opportunity to speak it into existence. Type me in the comment section right now if you want Seattle to go out and acquire Deshaun Watson. Seattle's got all the cap space right now. They will be making moves, so subscribe. We're going to break down these moves as they happen. So if you want videos on news, trackers, updates on what free agents the Seahawks gain and lose, we've got you guys covered. YouTube.com/Seahawks TV. We are this close to 25K subscribers. Let's get there sooner rather than later. Drew Lock, could he start at QB? Excuse me, I got a little sick there. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler has suggested Locke could actually be the planned starting QB, or at least a good fallback option for Seattle. Of course, Denver got Drew Lock in the Russell Wilson trade, and he's shown brief moments of flashing, but he's never been a great player in Denver, despite having pretty solid offensive line and some good pieces around him at receiver. And here's what Jeremy Fowler wrote. Don't be completely shocked if Drew Lock is the Seahawks starting QB next season. Sure, they could be in the mix for Watson or others, but I am told the team did not consider Locke a throw-in in the Wilson trade, but rather a viable fallback option. There's a belief among some with Seattle that Locke's issues in Denver were a byproduct of a revolving door of offensive coordinators and a defensive-minded head coach in Vic Fangio. I'm still going to call him Tank Commander Drew Lock. He is not your franchise guy. If I'm wrong, happy to be wrong. Certainly would not be the first time and certainly will not be the last time. But Lock has never been good. I don't know what to tell you. I know he was drafted early, and he's got a big arm that's actually not all that accurate in the end, but he's a sub 60% completion guy with 25 touchdowns and 20 interceptions. That's not good. The Drew Lock truthers are basing it on Denver went 3-1, 4-1, 5-1, something like that down the stretch of his first year. Even though he actually wasn't playing that well, the defense was carrying them. It's just not good. This is the Sam Darnold conversation all over again. He was drafted high, therefore people think he could be good. He had some hype coming out of Missouri. I get all that. He has not consistently been that guy. So if you want to start him, and best case, he emerges as your guy. Worst case, you tank and end up getting a different QB. Okay, I'm fine with that. Being a contender with Drew Lock? Nah, he ain't that guy. So what is your confidence level? And be honest with me in the comments right now of Drew Lock as the starting QB. Scale it 1 to 10. 1 being you think Drew Lock is, actually, Tom, you're being way too nice, Lock. He absolutely sucks. 10 being you think he's a franchise QB and he's going to be even better than Russell Wilson was. Today's show is powered by BetUS. Head over to chatsports.com/bet and use promo code Seahawks125. That'll get you a 125% deposit bonus. Chatsports.com/bet, promo code Seahawks125. You can bet on March Madness or against Russell Wilson. How about under 4,000 passing yards, minus 130. Under 32.5 pass touchdowns, also minus 130. Over 12.5 INTs, minus 120. Hey, maybe you just bet on him getting hurt again. You just take the unders on passing yards, passing TDs, and maybe interceptions. If you're feeling angry at Russ, you can go take it out and maybe make some money in the process. Chatsports.com/bet. Use promo code Seahawks125. Next up, could Colin Kaepernick, welcome to where we are, be an option? Kaepernick is still working, as he tweeted out a day or two ago, whatever it was. Well, background here before we dive too far into the current Colin Kaepernick. The Seahawks considered signing Kaepernick in the past, and Carroll said he was a starting QB, but they already had one. We'll get to his quote momentarily. I've got thoughts on this overall, because Kaepernick, if you thought he was a starting caliber QB and didn't sign him, what are you doing? You don't want that guy as a backup? Come on. That's a lie. It is a lie. That's what it is. If you thought he was a starting caliber QB and you can get him on the cheap, you would have signed him. You didn't because you didn't want him. Here's what Pete Carroll said back in 2020. I wouldn't hesitate. And I've said this ongoing for years. If Russ ever got tangled up and couldn't play or something, Cap would be an extraordinary candidate to take over. Would have been an extraordinary candidate to take over because of the dynamics of his play. We always really cherish the unique qualities that players bring, and he had a unique style that we couldn't have respected more. But as a backup, I hope he's going to get a chance to do that because he really deserves to be playing. Could have signed him at any point. Russ just got hurt. Oh, by the way, a lot of past tense verbiage there out of Pete Carroll. Here's the reality of the situation. Colin Kaepernick got screwed by the NFL. It was ridiculous that he was not out there. He should have been playing. It was ridiculous, and that's why the NFL settled that case against him. However, Colin Kaepernick turns 35 this season. He hasn't played since 2016. Move on, guys. Find a new slant. It doesn't make sense for the modern-day NFL organization to have any interest in adding Colin Kaepernick. He's not good anymore. Was he a top 60 QB when he got kicked out of the league, basically? Absolutely. Is he a top 60 QB right now? No. 35-year-old QB who's based on being a dual threat? No. You don't want that guy. Move on. Find the new slant. Stop propping up Colin Kaepernick. It was unfair, but that race has already been run. Now, we'll leave it up to you guys. We believe in democracy. Unlike Russia, should Seattle take a look at Colin Kaepernick? Why for yes and for no? And a quick news item before we go for you guys today. Phil Haynes back with Seattle. They have tendered him at the original round tender, meaning he's fairly cheap. It's a little over $2 million in total on that front. In the event that he ends up leaving, well, then a new team can sign Phil Haynes if they want. They would then owe Seattle the original round draft pick. They spent on a 4th round pick. So doubtful that anyone signs Phil Haynes. At minimum, don't you feel kind of good about your guard rotation? I still think Damien Lewis is better at right guard, is what it is at this point. But if Phil Haynes is your 3rd guard, along with Damien Lewis, Gabe Jackson, it's a pretty good grouping overall.